Shabbat Shalom and hello to those born in late November, early December, also known as Sagittarius. I am doing your spiritual insight and guidance reading at this time. I'm going to do as I'm feeling it, and what I was hearing for you guys is to just kind of pick a card from just the decks that I'm led to. So every card will not be from the same deck is what I'm ultimately saying. And I'm doing this right now. Normally, to try to keep it short, I would attempt to pull those first and just do it. But I'm just gonna do it for you guys on here because I feel like I've never done a reading for you guys before. So I just need y'all to see kind of like how I move. On a big old large deck like this one that's kind of stiff, I normally separate the cards. So let's do that. Most High, I'm asking right now what divine feminine energies can. All right. I'm only doing Most High Willing one card from each deck that I'm going to pull. Most High, thank you so much for your presence. Thank you so much for the ministering angels. Thank you that. Thank you so much that every message that it be for the spirits and souls connected to, I guess, to me and to this message. This will be kind of lengthy, seeing as how I'm doing all the shuffling on here, okay? So if you don't have the time, click off now. Oh, wow, that's so funny. I've been led to do it out of every one of my spiritual decks. That rarely happens. That used to happen when I was first starting. Okay, this is 2 cards, so Most High, give us one. I'm going to split this deck too because it's kind of thick. All right, we got one. It's like part of me want to put this one back in because I recently got it before. And I'm going to remember it, but I'm going to put it back in because I'm being led to. And I'll just start reshuffling again. And if it comes back out, then I will really feel like it's supposed to. But if it doesn't, I'll make a mental note of it. It was number 38 in the deck. And I'll just put it down as like a bonus, I guess. Let me jot that down right now so I don't forget. Actually, guys, I don't know what this may mean for some of you guys, but as I was beginning to meditate and send up my prayers in regards to this reading for you all, the song just popped up in my mind. I just started singing, you are everything. And this was mentally, and everything is you. Oh, you are everything. And everything is you. So I don't know what that's about, but there you go. If you guys come across this reading and you feel led to tell me, then by all means put it in the comments. All right. So we've got all the cards. Now I actually have to pull all those doggone booklets out. Let me press pause. All right, you guys. So I am back. And let's hop into this reading. So what I was doing off camera was, just so you'll know, I was basically bookmarking each understanding of the card, because if I'm led to, I'll read it, and normally I try to do both. I'll do what Spirit gives me first, and then I'll read it. Or anyway, so from the Work Your Light Oracle deck for Sagittarius, we got Mirror as the first card. And I'm reading all of this as if this is all messages. They could be different, they could be the same. We'll see as we get into it. It says, who or what is triggering you? Who or what is triggering you? So that lets me believe, and with it being normally in my first position to me, that could be what's going on inside of you. This could be something that's really emotional in nature, okay? Or it could be intuitive. Emotions, intuition, they kind of can be one and the same. So here we go. Let's get what the understanding. Basically, before I go there, it's something emotional happening at this time for a lot of you guys. Maybe even spiritual. A lot of things that are happening spiritually can be emotionally set off. Like, you can, sometimes we figure it out based off of how we're feeling, okay? And what we're thinking. So anyway, a lot of you guys y'all could be going through a lot of major spiritual, I just heard spiritual shit. So I'm gonna just say it like that. Y'all could be going through a lot of spiritual shit. Um, it could be transition, it could be growth, it could be um maybe even chastisement. I heard the word chastisement. So I just see chastisement as a form of correction. You see what I'm saying? So it could even be that you guys are learning some things that you need to learn, learning lessons. Um, but I think what this oracle is asking you to do is, don't just look at the stuff that's happening outside of you that's setting you off, or that could be pissing you off, or making you sad, or making you angry, or giving anxiety. Don't look at just the fact that you're feeling those things, and don't look at the people. I think it's calling you to look at yourself, go inside, and to not just look at the emotions, which are literally the effects of what's happening, but look deeper at the causes. What's making you feel this way? What's making you think this way? What's making you do what you're doing? Or what's making you not do something that you're not doing? All that. So let's see. It says, the filter of our own experience is how we experience life 90% of the time, through our own projection. When someone reminds us of an unhealed experience, we get triggered. Okay, so boom, I'm going to stop right there. Basically, we can get the gist of that as there are some unhealed and unresolved issues within us. Those who are sun, moon, rising, Venus, okay? And you could have Sagittarius really anywhere in your chart. In any one of your houses, this could is something, you never know, it could apply. But we have some unresolved and unhealed issues, okay? And wherever Sagittarius is in your chart, something is triggering you. Something that's unhealed, unresolved, hasn't been dealt with at all. That is causing you to feel the ways that you're feeling, think the thoughts that you're thinking, do what you're doing, or not do what you're not doing. So unhealed and unresolved issues, number one. And you're projecting that onto other people, or you're acting this out. It says often it's an unconscious thing. People and situations can trigger our mirrors to reflect back to us what we believe to be true about life, the universe, and of course ourselves. Mirrors pointing to our shadow and our light. So the things that we may not necessarily perceive to be good, or that we feel that others may not look at as a good thing, or what we consider our inadequacies, things that we may not be so much proud of. it reveals that, and it reveals the good things about us, the things that maybe we want the world to see, you know. Mirrors revealing the parts of us that are not yet to be accepted, witnessed, or loved. Not to say that it's not ready to, but it's like we don't feel that it's ready to, or we don't feel that it's lovable, or we don't feel that it will be accepted or that it will be loved. So we hide it. This card is guiding you to look closely at what experiences or people are currently triggering in you and what they could be mirroring back to you. When have you felt like this before? So when they ask that question, when have you felt like this before? They're talking about, okay, if you're going through something, maybe in any arena, life, work. When I say life, I guess I'll say relationships. Let's go on straight to the chase. Work, relationships. Be it family, friends, romantic. Okay. Or just interacting day to day with people. When somebody shows you something that it triggers you, like for example, to me, I remember I used to get salty at people who I felt would say something catty or rude, or I feel like they might snap at me, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on in their life, I'm just trying to converse with them, or I may have said something and I didn't know that they would respond the way that they did. And then I get a little salty at them for their response to me. And then even if I don't say it out loud, but it's something in me now they have triggered me to respond to them in a certain way where I don't like them now. Now I have a disdain for them. But when I go and I think about it, when I have time to reflect and I get a glimpse of a time when I went off on somebody or I snapped on somebody and I began to realize what my reason for doing that was, then it gives me maybe compassion or empathy for them. So what I'm saying that to say, or what that's supposed to be an example of, is like, instead of initially getting mad at somebody and maybe trying to treat them back or mirror back to them what we feel that they just gave us, instead we should look at, why did I just get offended at what they did? Why did I get offended? And see if we can find a truth in us somehow about them or about the way that we responded to what they did. I don't know if that made no type of sense. I hope it did. But basically, they're saying, ask yourself, when have you felt like this before? And could they be opportunities to heal something in you? So, for example, let's say somebody just snapped on you and you went off on somebody. Maybe they was a coworker, right? We'll just say that. It's a coworker. You snapped off on them, or whatever. Or I'm saying the wrong thing. They snap at you. Instead of you looking at them just snapping on you, oh my God, I didn't even do nothing to them. They just snapped off at me or whatever. I feel like it could be, you can look at them snapping at you as a time when you've snapped at someone, and you can go into depth. You can use this as a learning tool, basically, to show you times that you've snapped on somebody. Like, when did I ever snap on somebody like that? When that moment and that thought finally come to you and you remember, oh, I did do that before to somebody, then go back to that place, relive the things that maybe led up to that incident for you, and you could receive healing for yourself. Healing being, okay, now I know why I did what I did. I now also know how the other person could have felt with me going off on them now, because I've experienced somebody going off on me. And now the healing could be that we realize, okay, well, we're not going to go off on somebody anymore. Instead, this is how we're going to choose to operate if we experience these thoughts and feelings and stuff again. I hope that made some damn sense. Let me know if it did or if it didn't. Anyways, it said, could they be opportunities to heal something in you, or are they shining a light on something that longs to be witnessed in you? Witnessed meaning you may do this. Okay, and you may not recognize that you do this to other people, but this incident in and of itself is an opportunity, not for you to jump fly with the person who just got crunk with you, but for you to look at the fact that, oh my God, I do this to other people. And not just for you to know it, but for you to make some changes, okay? This goes for the good and for the bad. The good, those who we admire and put on a pedestal, if we do not realize that we are attracted to them because we are like them, then we will need to cut them down in order to rise to their level. So this could come from, maybe you could admire someone. Oh, and I literally just saw a real example of this. I'm watching this show on Netflix called Celia, and it's about the late Celia Cruz. Well, one of her former friends on there, Lola Calvo, there came this time in Lola's life where originally Lola was going through some hell in her youth. And she really took to Celia because, one, Celia was an excellent singer. She really admired her ability and her talent. And she just loved how she could get up there and be free, and that she put all of her expression and emotions into her singing. Um, she also wound up, she was a fan of Celia, to be honest. She was a major fan of Celia, and she was really rooting for her. But once she started to blow up Celia, I think there began to be a slight disdain. People were basically, Celia kind of, her career took off a little bit before Lola's. Lola's career did wind up taking off, but Celia's took off first. And she seemed to be so lovable. Everybody really wanted to work with her. Meanwhile, Lola was still dealing with so many bad issues with her family going on, an abusive situation with her stepfather and other stuff. That's not the point. The point is, Lola actually always admired Celia. But when Lola came, she didn't have healed issues. She was upset that Celia's career wound up taking off before hers. She felt like Celia got handed everything. People looked to Celia in such high esteem and esteemed her so highly. And literally, Lola kind of became jealous of that. So that same thing that same way that she used to uphold Celia, she later, it was turned around and twisted, and she began to despise her. And so what she started to do was talk bad about Celia. She started to say like negative things, like just, wow, you came to steal my shine. You always try to make everything about you. Like everything that she once admired, she turned it around for the bad, for the negative about Celia. And she wound up really saying these things to Celia, and it wound up hurting her. And it's like, that's actually what she was actually trying to do, but it was because it made her feel more powerful. It made her feel like what she was saying was all the more true. When Lola was a great talent in and of herself, even Celia saw it. Celia was also rooting for her. But that unhealed energy that was at work in Lola caused her to actually tear down somebody that she really always admired. So that's what I feel like is a good example of that. Like sometimes, the same people you put on a pedestal, you'll wind up cutting down if you have unresolved issues with them. I don't know how to say it no more plain than that. Moving on. The bad. Those we despise and are envious of and put down. If we do not realize that they trigger something in us, then it is still yet to be healed. And we will remain hurt and wounded ourselves. So the question that this card asks, that we ask ourselves, is who or what is triggering you? What is it? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Excuse me. What is it in you that they are triggering? And what part of you longs to be witnessed? So witness could also be in regards to what part of you that you know is amazing and great that you want people to recognize you for. Acknowledge that, so that and so that you can not cut somebody down who may actually not have a problem showing that about themselves. I feel like that's real hating. Like, you could want other people to know this about you too. But because they may notice it about another person and they don't see it in you, and maybe it's because you do not show it enough or at all. you don't show it because you thought it was a bad thing to show. Maybe you don't show it because you were taught, oh, a lady doesn't act like that, or a man doesn't act like that. Or maybe you don't show it because you were taught or made to feel like it was something wrong, or you were bad for showing it. Maybe you're ambitious, but you don't want to look like, oh, you'll do anything. First of all, if you will, then you need to be honest with yourself. And if you don't like that about yourself, you need to fix that. But if you're not a person that's willing to step on anyone just to get by, then there's no reason that you shouldn't go for what it is that you want. I don't know why I had to say that. Moving on. That's mirroring. Boom. The next card that came out, I was asking Spirit, what divine feminine energies could you guys embody? And it is Layla that came out. It says that she's the saint of spoken words. And here is her intention. It says, every word that I say becomes a prayer. I am the author of my own story. And right off the bat, I have to say that every time I've gotten this card in the past, which is just rare, but each time it was talking about the fact that we really need to be careful of the things that we speak, of what we say. And the reason we need to be careful about what we say is because, first of all, they're thoughts that are coming somewhere. They're coming from somewhere. Okay? And basically, they can shape and create the realities that we have. Ever notice that sometimes the things that you said about yourself, good or bad, sometimes happen? Even if it's like later on down the damn line, it still happens. Like, oh my God, I said that. Okay? So basically, I feel like this is a reminder and a call for you guys to use your words for exactly what it is that you want. To be careful of what you're saying, because what you are saying actually manifests. Everything that we've ever said in our lives, be it inside, quietly to ourselves, the thoughts that we've had, as well as the words that actually have come out of our mouth, has created everything we've ever experienced. Everything. Okay? So we need to be careful and cautious of that. In fact, it's a power. It's a superpower that so many of us have, and we use it so cruel, and we use it carelessly, without caution. All right, let's go ahead and understand. So it says, when your soul selects her card, it says, words have the power to shift our reality or to continue to reinforce it. So if you pour and you feel like you're going to stay poor, or first of all, if you're poor and you want money, but you continue to say, oh, I'm broke, or I ain't got no money. I don't care how much you think that that's true. What you're actually doing is saying that you're going to continue to be poor and you're going to stay broke. I ain't got no money. That's not your intent behind it, but hey, it's what you're saying. And if you're not careful to not put intentions with that thought, then that's what you're saying, that you broke and that you believe that. Anyway, moving on. That was just okay. It says, every word that you say is an affirmation. This is perhaps one of the most crucial spiritual lessons to remember. If we are not separate from the soul, and if the soul is not separate from the divine, then we have the power to co-create our life. This oracle is the invitation to pay very close attention to each word that we say to ourselves within, and the words that we say about ourselves to the people that we love. This is the acknowledgement from the soul that our every sentence is a prayer. If we want more love, more light, and more of that joy and freedom that expands our capacity to be present in this world, then this oracle reminds us that we can become the author of our own reality right now. We can speak our desires into being. This oracle is the reminder that we are so powerful that changing the words that we use to describe ourselves can actually change the trajectory of our lives. We can choose to focus our attention on each I am statement that we say. And we can infuse our lives with the nectar, the sweetness that comes when we act on the truth that we are not separate from the divine. I think that's so beautifully said. All it's simply saying is, listen, who is it that you want to be? Who is it that you feel in your spirit and your heart that you are? What does that person do? How does that person think? What do they say? Okay, if you can answer any of those questions, even just a little bit, be it just in your thoughts or actually out loud, do both. Say what that person says, do what that person does, and that will create your reality. That will create that reality for you. You know, one thing that I feel like I loved about Peter Pan, the movie, is that it really, like, I don't care what nobody say, that movie is real deep. It basically showed that our minds are very powerful. That we can create things in our minds and they can become freaking real. We gotta start playing make believe again until what we have made believe is what it really is. I'ma shut up. I'ma shut up. That's for somebody out there. That's for somebody out there. Be careful of what you're talking about. Be careful of what you're thinking about because you are responsible for your reality. Even if you feel that somebody else allowed something else to happen to you, guess what? At any point that you disagree, all you need to do is start thinking differently. If something in your life is not the way that you want it to be, and you have thoughts about the way that you think it should be or that you desire it be, start focusing your thoughts there and then start speaking those thoughts. Eventually they'll lead to your actions, that's for sure, and that's for good or bad. I'm not out here trying to tell y'all to be bad, but I'm just saying though, it is what it is. It's true irregardless. All right, from the angel therapy deck, the next card that came out was shield yourself. Shield yourself. It says protect yourself from harsh or fear-based energies by envisioning a cocoon of healing light surrounding you. Now, I feel like this definitely can go into, so far, this is all lining up so far from what I can see. Mirroring was the first card, and it was talking about what's triggering you, and it was talking about the things that people are doing to you that actually upset you or make you feel some type of way. They are opportunities for you to look at actually yourself. Okay, number one. And not only look at yourself, but to look at those places because they're unhealed. And you need to look there so that you can find your healing. The next card that came out so far is talking about be careful of what you think and what you say because they create your reality. This one is talking about protecting yourself from negative energy. So just because somebody is, triggering you and acting rude, doesn't mean that you have to take that energy on. This card also talks about, like, to me, this could be, again, any type of relationship, guys, work, life, family, friends, lovers. When I say lovers, know that husbands and wives are who I'm talking about or who are included in that. Okay. It says protect yourself from harsh fear-based energy. So basically, I feel like, remember I said that this was some emotional things going on? That's still in line with this card too. There's a lot of emotions. Emotions are very high right now surrounding something going on in your life. It'll probably come out in the general tarot reading, but I do like to clarify here anyway. Anyways, there's something going on where emotions are high, okay? Whether it's your own emotional energies that are high or whether it's others. And I feel like it's a mixture of both. Like, I feel that the reason that you could be feeling all types of low negativity or fear and all that, it actually may not only be coming from you. It could be coming from somebody else who you're connected to. So that's why they're saying to shield yourself, cover yourself. I would go as far as to say cover yourself in your prayers. These affirmations, that can be the way that you are shielding yourself. Your thoughts that you're thinking, the words that you're speaking every day, that could be the way that you shield yourself from any type of energy. Fear-based energies could be anything. It could be somebody who say that they love you, but your idea for your life is not in line with what they feel is right. Okay. Or maybe they've never experienced something like it, and so they're afraid of it, and so they'll be like, oh no, baby, don't do that, or no, you can't do that, because the reason for why you can't do it may not be true for you, but for them it's true. Or maybe for them they perceive it to be true. They've never tried what you've done, so they don't really, or what you're talking about doing, so they don't really know one way or the other. Some people. Some of you guys, they could be like you, or they could see themselves in your shoes, but maybe it did not work out for them. And so they have a negative connotation of something that could work out and prove to be positive for you. But they're still speaking from their point of reference, which is what's helping to create fear in them for you. And therefore, they speak that fear into your life. And if you're not careful, if you're not shielding yourself with your prayers and your affirmations, you can take on that same energy. I feel like this could be coming from somebody that you trust, guys, okay? So this could be family, a really close friend or coworker, or of course, your lover. And so you still have to protect yourself. Let's read what the book says, okay? It says that the angels brought you this card because of your heightened sensitivity to energies. This sensitivity means that you may inadvertently absorb other people's energies. Oh my God. So some of you guys could be empaths. Some of y'all could be empaths here. Yep. And this can make you feel tired. It can make you feel unfocused or even angry. Again, what? What's triggering you? Don't tell me that the spirit isn't here when all of these messages are coming out. Clear? Look at that rhyme. Anyway, moving on. Just as you wouldn't walk outdoors in a rainstorm without an umbrella, it's important to use an energy umbrella in the face of any emotional downpour. It says if you feel negative energy or people are arguing, competing, or using frightening words, it's vital for you to shield yourself. This means, I don't want to say this one because I don't think this, but I'm reading for those who it may work for visualization. This means imagining that a bubble of protective light surrounds your entire body. You can also ask Archangel Michael to guard you from lower energies, and you can even borrow the shield as a protective buffer. What I wanted to say, guys, was say your affirmations, say your prayers, and that can happen at any point in time. When you notice some shit is about to pop off, or you can pick up on somebody else's energy and they not emitting anything positive, you can speak to yourself and say, I'm not going to allow this to cause me to act like them. It's quite simple, or it could be. Now, again, there could be those who are visual and they needed that, it could be whatever you need to feel like you're safe. Okay, whatever you need to visualize to make you feel as though you are covered, honey, do that. Believe it, speak it. Boom. The next card that came out in regards to you guys, Sagittarius, is the Ruby. Let's get it. Ruby is about passion, love, and precious memories. It says your passion for someone you love is being rekindled, and you will soon find yourself glowing with a newfound sense of joy and wonder for life. As you find yourself reflecting on all the blessings and precious memories derived from this beautiful relationship, you realize that the bad times are easily forgotten, yet precious memories of love live forever. Love is an ocean which forever ebbs and flows, at times a raging sea, and at times tranquil and calm. That raging sea part, though, baby, that raging sea part stood out to me like a mother flipper. That raging sea to me is the things like the arguments. It's the things like the fear-based energies. Because you know what? When the sea is raging, honey, and them waves are high, the sea could be a very dangerous place to be, right? It has taken a many lives. And of course, that alone evokes fear. How dangerous the sea is. So I'm saying that to say that to me, that's still in line with these energies of fear-based energies. Argument. I'm talking about heated arguments. More than likely with couples. I feel like this is saying that some couples are getting back together. And y'all could have had a kind of tumultuous relationship where you could have had a relationship like the sea that, like, damn, we went through a whole hell of a lot together. We've had some ups and we've had some downs. It's also been beautiful with you. We have gone together. We have flowed together. But then just like we have flowed together, we've also had some really intense moments where we might have thought we wasn't going to make it. Where we might have thought it was best that we go separate ways. But for whatever reason, that love ain't went nowhere. It's still here and it's coming back, and it's coming back real strong. For some of you Sagittarians out there, okay? Wow. And would you look at that? The raging sea from the Ruby card illustration. Now we get storm wisdom. Let's see what this is talking about. Probably should have did this one first because this one be having long ass explanation. But anyway, it says we bring you the gift of storm wisdom. This is number 12 in the Crystal Mandela Oracle deck. And the angel associated is Angel Raziel. And the stone, the crystal, is called Petersite. I don't know if I said that right, but I tried it. Or Pitersite. Anyway, we bring you the gift of storm wisdom. This is the fierce, cleansing nature of divine compassion, made manifest in the world. Storm wisdom thrills the spirit, for it understands that so much benefit and liberation will come from the process. Yet the mind may quake at the prospect of such little control over how your life events are unfolding for a time. What is happening during an experience of storm wisdom is that anything that has become stagnant, honey, or obstructing or blocking to your spiritual growth will be uprooted. You may find that the divine storm of transformation powering through your life creates a feeling of upheaval, creative chaos, uncertainty, and even excitement. You may feel simultaneously liberated and exhilarated whilst also wondering if everything is going to be okay. You must remember that you will only be asked to give up something in order to receive that which is far more beautiful and supportive of your sacred life journey. You must also remember that the cleansing power of the storm will revitalize you, bring you fresh energy and perspective to take forward in your journey, and is a divine blessing which will only bring good into your life. Baby, first of all, that's powerful in and of itself, and they still got more to say. I'm going to read some of the stuff that they have to say. It says, while the mind often wants to hold on and maintain the status quo, fearing change, the soul thrills at the prospect of joy, happiness, and fulfillment that growth brings. It is so devoted to the manifestation of divine love in this world that it is willing to go through growing pains to bring the inspiring, vitalizing life of the spirit into the beautiful form of the body. Boom, that said a whole bunch of shit right there. Our soul knows that we need to grow, right? Through whatever circumstances we are in at this time. And we are afraid half to death of what's going on. Sagittarius, I know it. I can feel the energy. Y'all are scared. You're unsure. Some of you guys may even want to run away. You may want to abandon ship. But the truth is, when the ship is your soul, you can't run anywhere. You can't get away from this. So boom, that's that with that. But this is spiritual growth here. this is spiritual growth beginning to happen here. That's what I can definitely say. And that's fitting because this is a spiritual insight reading. Let me hurry up so I don't take this on too much longer. Basically, what I heard, I love that part. That's by far probably the most exciting shit I heard from this. That our soul knows that we need this. And that our soul is in total agreement with this storm. Whatever we feel like is so much for us to bear, whatever we feel we're the decision that we could be afraid of making, our soul knows that we need it in order to grow. And it is willing to go through the pain, the fear, the change that it needs to get our soul to where it needs to be. And it's going to use your body to get you there. Because our soul is here in our body, correct? So, yeah, baby, this is something that tells me this is going to happen. There is no way that you are getting out of this. Again, this is for anywhere that Sagittarius is in your chart. You might want to look that up. The way that you can look that up, guys, is through your birth chart. They have free ones all online. You'll need to probably know your exact time of birth though. But even if you don't, you can just put in your year and all that, and you'll have to put in, the time of midnight, and just see what comes up. But it may not be totally accurate with midnight, but I'm just saying you can try, okay? But the point is, wherever that is in your chart, wherever Sagittarius is for a lot of us, I can assure you it's something major, to the point to where that's why there's so much fear. It's something that can alter our lives. That's another reason why there's so much fear. Whether it's your own fear or whether people are putting it on you. Like it could, like the person, let's just say there's a relationship. There could be somebody who is kind of opposing what you may feel in your heart and spirit that you need to do at this time. They're opposing it because their worst fears may be getting ready to happen. Like if it means you might have to leave a relationship indefinitely or actually leave and know that you're not coming back, that could be why the other person is trying to invoke fear in you, whatever that may mean. It could be malicious, or it could just be it's their own fears of being left. Not that they want to hurt you, not even that they want to control you, but because they don't want to lose you themselves because they feel like they're supposed to be with you or that you're supposed to be here, they could very well be causing fear. Somehow. Let it fall where it resonates. Others could be maliciously invoking fear to keep you from moving the way that your soul is inevitably moving you anyway. Okay? So you can either go within and look at yourself and see what's being unhealed in you, what's triggering you, why are you getting mad, why are you angry that somebody showed you this side of themselves, what is it in you that's unhealed, that's why you don't like it, or what is it in you that you actually want to be seen and noticed for that you're not showing yourself. Speak that into your life. Think about it. Start doing it. That is going to be a lot of you guys' protection. But also say your prayers of covering. Invite Archangel Michael in to protect you, because that's what Michael's job is. I feel like for a lot of you guys, it could be either the love relationship that you're in, or you could be getting ready to walk into a place where you are going to be in a love relationship. And it could be someone from your past. But even if it's not, you guys, I do think it is, because remember when we were reading about the ruby, it talked about rekindling something. But you know what? It doesn't even have to be like that. It could be something that you've always desired, something that you've always known was real, but you've not experienced yet until this. And that could be what is rekindled. Like, oh my God, I'd almost lost hope that this relationship could be. I had almost given up. I almost settled. My gosh. Woo, this little passionate flame is going bright. My white one burning bright back here. My green one burning bright back here. And so is my blue one. Spirit is here. But basically, yeah, you almost settled. You almost gave up on this that was always quietly in your heart. What you were always passionate about. What you always knew was possible. You almost gave up on it out of fear, but you pushed through. And now, as a result, like, I feel like this is coming. I feel like it may not be here yet, but it's coming for a lot of you guys. And I feel that this card of the Oracle of Storm Wisdom is talking about whatever gets cleared away in this transition of life that's about to happen. It's what was supposed to be gone. Simple as that. Moving on to the last and final card of the spiritual reading. Number 9 in my Earth Warriors deck, which I just, that's my first deck I ever bought. That's when Spirit was telling me, girl, you need to go ahead, go get that, go get your deck. I was like, well, all right. This was what my spirit was drawn to, Earth Warriors. So anyway, this is called the Blessing. Wow, how beautiful. Fitting. The Blessing of Kumu. How beautiful is that? Coming after this storm that's going to clear the path for us to operate in our divine potential, for us to operate in our truest selves, for us to operate in only what is true and righteous and good. It says that no good thing shall be withheld. This is the blessing, that no good thing is going to be withheld. Got to be more careful. Baby, look. It says that the universe wants to express its creativity, healing, and brilliance through you. It does not want to be limited to repeating what has already been. Newness needs to burst through you into startling expressions of abundant life. You are guided into unknown territory, guided to go beyond that which you have known yourself and your world to be, so that something original and necessary can be brought to life. The universe knows all that you are in need of, so that you can best attain your destiny. All shall be provided for you. Expand your faith to allow for the greater workings of the Great Spirit, or of the Most High. It says in a reading, resources are coming to you now. If you have been in lack, limitation, or anxiety about such things happening, just relax and substitute your stress for the absolute trust in the universe will provide all good things with generosity and grace. That's that grace came up again for you. Grace came up in one of these cards. Storm Wisdom, I want to say. Oh no, grace came up for me in my spiritual reading. But anyway, moving on. If you find this challenging, just take it one step at a time. Reprogramming your heart and mind into new habits of peaceful trust. That's all in line with speaking and thinking what it is that you truly desire so that it can manifest. That's reprogramming. It will feel much better to live like this. It is not foolishness, but wisdom that embraces such unconditional faith. Know that the provision of all resources required is a certainty. The only variables are the details of how the journey unfolds. But when you tune into your heart, you'll remember that you are loved, protected, and guided in every moment. So trust the Most High. I gotta read this one, y'all, because I feel like this is what Sagittarians definitely are. So here goes nothing. When you are a dreamer, a visionary, and a seer of the need for transformation in our world, it can be so easy to feel intimidated, to dismiss the possibility for radical change as unrealistic, to believe that the greatest of our visions are unattainable in the real world. However, Many things that were once considered to be impossible to the human mind are now part of our daily lives. The impossible becomes possible on a regular basis. It says Kumu is the Hawaiian term for teacher and source of wisdom. The universe is the great Kumu. When we trust in the universe and Most High, synonymous for me, just so you know. When we trust in the universe, we come to understand certain truths, including the realization that we don't have to be limited to what we logically know. If we are willing to expand our faith, then that which we are capable of experiencing in harmony with the universe will expand also. Your beautiful and perhaps impossible seeming dreams are supported by the unlimited resources of the universe, even if you don't know what is needed. And when, in order to create a successful outcome, the universe does. You are being guided to reset your mind and heart to unconditional trust. This can be a challenge for the human part of us that tends to give weight mostly to what can be perceived through the five bodily senses. Yet, for spirit, this is easy. The spirit within you knows the incredible power of the divine to bring together all aspects of life in the perfect way, at the perfect time, for astounding success. Your spirit knows that when you take action on your most apparently impossible divine mission from a position of faith rather than a more limited perspective, the universe helps you every step of the way. It is time to adjust your belief systems to encompass this. To encompass this entire universe as your creative partner in life. It provides you with resources, opportunities, and learning experiences to gain precious information and life skills so that you are singularly and completely equipped to do what you have come to this planet to do. Kumu, the great wisdom teacher, guides you now. Don't allow your mind to create visions of poverty or lack, of failure or absence of support, but focus instead upon the sweet generosity of the universe, lovingly providing for you, often in advance of you actually consciously realizing what you need, with all that is necessary for your best life and fulfillment of your sacred purpose. All the answers, the connections, the resources, everything that you need is right there for you at the best possible moment. With the focus on feeling of excitement about opportunities, inspirational innovation, and the best and brightest of human creative endeavor, surge forward in harmony with each other to establish sustainable new systems. You can lend your energy, your mind, and your body to what you want to have happen in this world. The universe will hear and feel you and provide resources accordingly. Let your thoughts and hopes become your prayers, and the answers to those prayers will benefit all life on this planet. Y'all, this is the second time you done heard about your words and your thoughts being prayers. That's what this one says. It says, every word I say becomes a prayer. And I'm the author of my own story. Here it says, let your thoughts and hopes become your... Come on now. That is the end. I was thinking about doing this, but I know y'all Sagittarians, look, y'all behinds can have a short attention span. I ain't even got time to play with y'all. But I'm just going to let everything else come out in the general tarot reading. I'm going to say shalom to you guys. I love you guys with the love of the Most High.